Hello everyone and welcome back to Dark Souls Easy Mode. Today we will be tackling Sen's Fortress, that area over there. And I will show you some tricks to make that kind of easier. I've also switched into the Wanderer set, which I found in Blighttown. It looks kind of nice, I find, and I can fast roll in the complete set, so that's nice. I don't have to run around naked, but still have the fast roll animation. Okay, now Sen's Fortress is full of traps, and for a first-time player, these are very difficult to spot. If you know what you're looking for, you can maybe tell that there's a pressure plate down on the ground here. It's not that easy to tell, but it's possible. And I would suggest lure one of these guys and then walk on the pressure plate. They themselves, they don't trigger the pressure plate, but they can take damage from the arrows. And that way you got rid of one of these guys, otherwise you often have to deal with both of these at the same time, and that can be a little, you know, annoying. I believe my difficulty with the backstabs is due to the fact that I'm on stairs, which backstabbing on doesn't work that well when you're in a different vertical position from the enemy. It still works, but it's a little more finicky, I guess. And now come the next trap, well, the next type of trap, which are these swinging axe blade things, pendulums. You can run through this in one go if you like, but you can also take it slow and just, you know, run slowly. See if I can get the parry. I cannot. I can get the backstab, however. And that obviously knocks him off this bridge. He doesn't... oh, he does die, okay. Incidentally, there's a few guys down there for firing lightning stuff at you. You can probably mostly ignore that. I won't go for a full exploration of Sen's Fortress at this point. Suffice it to say that you can come back here later, and I would strongly suggest it. Now I switch to the crest shield. Again, here I would suggest going through slowly, and then just run past the enemy, walk over this pressure plate, and this is something I really enjoy, and a lot of people I've shown this to will also found it funny. I just like killing the enemies around here with their own traps, or with the traps of the area. And the reason I use the crest shield, by the way, is the attacks that these mages throw, as you've seen, they look kind of like a lightning thing. And it definitely looks, the animation is very similar to the lightning attack that, for example, the drakes in the Valley of Drakes use. But it's actually magic damage. And so the crest shield is just the shield of choice because that's very good against magic. Oh yeah, by the way, the black eye orb, I didn't show you this, invade the world of the murderer of a firekeeper. So this item can eventually be used to get back the firekeeper. Yeah, I guess I'll show you what to do here. Now, what I'm about to show you is only useful, or only really useful, if you have the master key. So the wall behind this guy is breakable, but it's not breakable by just anything. So let me think. Yeah, I'll show you. Yeah, let's just attack him. Okay, so he has multiple attacks, and this one, the straight attack, is actually capable of destroying that wall. So what you can do is you aggro him, and then you kind of get between him and the wall, and you block, and you hope for him to do that attack, and that will break this wall behind you. This one. This one. Now, another thing you can do is equip the Drake Sword. You need to two-hand it, I don't remember. I think you do. And do you need to stand quite close? I don't remember. I I've never actually done this. But I know the R2, or is it just the one-handed R2? Have to be further away. I'll just try this a few times. Eventually it'll break, but... I know you can open it this way, but it might only work if the guy is still alive. Oh well. It's not like it's terribly useful to me. I'll still show you. I'll get another snake and use that dude. I believe you need the snake guy to still be alive so that you can blast the door open with the Drake sword. It's too late to check now. Anyway, you guy. Now he also is there so you can see that there's a stone trap there. But he should be able to follow me. Yep, very good. I've seen him randomly jump to his death as well, which is a bit sad. No, we're fine. Okay, a little closer, and then just do that again. There we go. It wasn't so difficult now, was it? And there we go. Again, you could also wait until later and use the intended way of opening this, but if you have the master key, you can do it now. I just want to show you this because it saves on some backtracking if you chose the master key. And you can open this cage and talk to him again. And that will make him move to Firelink Shrine, and he becomes he is basically the high-end magic trainer of the game, so he will teach you the best spells in the game eventually. Well, best depends obviously on your definition, but he will teach you the most, or some of the more powerful sorceries. The DLC has added some very, very powerful ones as well, which are arguably better, but basically he will teach you good stuff. Okay, now I'll wait for one of the stones to roll past, and then I'll leg it up to the left. Now there is a snake mage thing, which sometimes decides to come to melee quite quickly and sometimes not. There. Yeah, I just like to kill them with their own traps, so you could just kill them, kill it manually. That would also work. Okay, let's wait for another stone and then run up here. And nothing fancy here, there's just a ring. Just the ring of steel protection. Nice to have, but it increases your physical defense, which can be nice because the area here is pretty strong on that. Now, as you can see in this corridor, there's another pressure plate. I would suggest hit the wall. This will basically create a noise which will lure in this snake man. Now you can also use the trap to kill him, but it's a little difficult. I'll try seeing if I can make it. I just want him to get away from there a little. Come on. Come a little closer. No, that's not going to be close enough. Oh well. Depending on how you lure him, you can basically use those arrows to kill him, but otherwise just fish for backstabs. Very, very useful. Now, there's two ways to handle this next section. And by the way, the stones roll down here now. I would suggest whenever you go through this area, because the stones can change direction, these huge boulders that are rolling down here, you can manually change their direction later, or they can change direction by themselves, moving past certain trigger points. I am not entirely certain what those trigger points are, though. So basically, I would suggest unless you've got experience with the place, never assume that a boulder path is clear just because you manually set it to a different direction. Always wait 5-10 seconds, see if a boulder rolls past, and if it doesn't, then obviously it's clear. Otherwise, you know, probably not. Okay, I will also take a sip. And after the next boulder, I will run up. You can't make it all the way up, by the way, but what you can do is hop down here. And kill this snake. This is kind of a shortcut way to get to the next place. You can then drop down here. I think there's a few items to be had, but nothing of import to me. You can explore down there later, basically. You know, like sorcerer stuff and the sorcery hush. I believe that makes your footsteps quiet. Could be useful in, well, mostly PvP, I'd say. Anyway, yeah, up this way is where you want to continue. And this door here won't open from the other side, and it'll put you right here. Now, on the other side, I'll show you. Yeah, just keep in mind this place here, and I'll show you how to get here, quote unquote, the normal way. Was this breakable? Nope. Okay, so this is where I drop down. And instead I could have followed the boulder down, and that would have taken me here. Now there's something very nice to be had here, actually multiple very nice things. While the boulders roll past there, I will go here. And this is the first mimic in the game. Now, if you spend a little while waiting here, you can see how the chest kind of opens and it's breathing. That's a good indicator. Now, if you don't want to wait, you can also look at the chain. You might have to go into full screen to see this very well, but see how the chain is kind of rolled outwards a little? And the end of the chain is basically pointing towards me. This is how a mimic looks. You can always look at the chain, and that will always tell you if a chest is a mimic or not. Or you can wait and see if it, you know, does that idle breathing animation. See, there it opens slightly. Again, you might not see this on a smaller screen. And mimics are very dangerous. They have pretty high damage, so don't underestimate them. And they also look really freaky. This mimic in particular drops the lightning spear, or a lightning spear. It's not a special weapon, it's a normal spear that's been upgraded along the lightning path. It's very, very powerful for the early game. Lightning is a good upgrade path, and just if you're still running around with a Drake sword, this would be a very good place to upgrade your weapon to the lightning spear, which is, again, the game gives it to you and it's pretty powerful. Okay. Basically, to get a weapon to lightning, I'm just sorry, this is a bit of a tangent, but you need to upgrade a weapon to +10, and at a blacksmith we haven't seen yet, you can then make it into a lightning weapon. So essentially that lightning spear is something a little bit stronger than a +10 spear. So +10 is the maximum upgrade level you could have at this point, meaning obviously the lightning spear is an advantage over that. Now it does lightning damage and it no longer scales, so there's that to be considered, but it's a good weapon, it's decent to have at this point. Now, we've waited for long enough, so this, I don't know, container, hole in the ground, whatever, it's been covered up by the rolling stones, sorry. And thus the wall behind it has crumbled and we can get an item here. I'm just waiting for stones to, you know, be on the safe side. We can grab this item, which is the covetous gold serpent ring. which is a ring that increases drop rate of items. Now, you could also have gotten the other item that increases drop rate from this mimic. It's a hat. It's called the Symbol of Avarice. It basically makes your entire head look like a mimic's head. So you like that chest thing with a tongue hanging out and the teeth. Your head looks like that. I'll show it to you when I get it. Now, each mimic, I believe, has a very slim chance of dropping that. But you can actually get it guaranteed from this guy. You just need at least 7 Lloyd's talismans. Maybe 6 are enough? Maybe 7, I'm not sure. I'd say probably go with 10 just to be safe. And Lloyd's talismans, in addition to enabling you to prevent someone else from using Estus in online play, they also make a mimic give up his item without triggering it. So if there's a chest that you notice is a mimic, you can throw the talisman at it, and it'll basically open up, giving you the item, but not actually becoming aggressive. Now, this actually works even after you've aggroed it. So what you do is you hit the mimic with an attack, preferably a weak attack. So my Zweihander would be too powerful, but I don't know, use a fist, whatever, anything, to aggro it. And then, as it gets up and is out of its getting up animation, you throw a talisman at it. And that will make it basically fold back down into its idle animation, and you can grab the item, in this case the lightning spear. Now you punch it again, wait for it to get up, and then throw another Lloyd's talisman. And each time you do that, the game counts that as having defeated a mimic. And the last mimic you defeat, the 7th, will always give you the Symbol of Avarice. So if you throw enough Lloyd's talisman, eventually the game basically thinks, okay, you've now defeated 7 mimics, there's the symbol. As opposed to you having to actually fight all of the single individual mimics, you can just basically kill this one 7 times, quote unquote. So the game thinks you've defeated 7 mimics and you get the item. Yeah, so you can get the Symbol of Avarice there as well. It doesn't stack with this gold serpent ring anyway, so one of the other is fine. The Symbol of Avarice gives more souls and more items, but it also drains your health slowly, so something to be kept in mind. Also, this elevator, once it's up at this level and you walked out of it, don't stay standing on it. It's full of blood, and that's because if it pulls you up any further, you get pulled into some spikes and take a bunch of damage. It's not a one-hit kill, but it does decent damage, so just step out quickly. And that puts us right here. If you remember, this is the place where we found the Black Sorcerer set and the Hush spell. And we couldn't open this door from the other side, but from this side, but from the other side, as we came up here, we could open it. So that's where the 2 paths you can take through this area converge. And then you can run up here. The boulder, every time I've done this, the boulder has not come down that way. I don't believe it does. But just in case, and to be on the safe side, wait a little, and if it happens to be coming down here, which I don't imagine it ever would, but, you know, again, better safe than sorry, you can just wait and, you know, wait here, wait for it to roll by, and then you have enough time to get up there. And then afterwards, it might be worthwhile to direct the boulder down here, if you haven't already opened the gate here. That's the wall that I broke using the Snake Man. If you didn't do that, now is the time when you can open it. It's still, if you don't have the master key, opening this wall at this point isn't really useful, but you might as well do it since you're there. If you did get the master key but didn't want to use the Snake Man the way I did, now would be the time to open that up. You can just change the direction of the boulder by turning this, I don't know, is that still a lever? It looks a bit large. Handle, whatever. Let's say lever. The game calls it lever. That's fine. So yeah, you can send the boulder down here. That's just basically meaningless. It doesn't do anything. But that snake is not going to path to me. It's way too far away. You can send the boulder down this way. This is where it initially rolled down. You can send it down the way I'm sending it to open that gate. Or that wall, rather. And down this way is where you send it to get to that gold-covered serpent ring. But again, if you follow my playthrough, you will already have gotten the ring. Alright, and now let's make our way through the final section. Again, pressure plate here, walk onto it, walk backwards, you're fine. You can also run through this and stand between the traps here, for example, and just wait it out, or you could roll through the you can run forward and then go to the... Basically, if you run onto it and then go sideways here for just a second, you will avoid the damage as well, because you're just running here into this wall by the time the first arrows fire, and then you turn around, and by the time the second arrows fire, you're already clear. But yeah, I'd suggest walking on the pressure plate, walking backwards, and you're fine. Now these swinging blades you want to tackle all in one go. So don't backstep like I did. Instead, just run. Just run straight through, you have plenty of time. It's a bit difficult to get a backstab off on this guy. It's possible. I was going for a parry, but it didn't work out. Or alternatively, have him drop to his death. Actually, apparently he didn't die, but, well, he's no longer a threat, let's put it that way. And then I would suggest going for this mage lady. I don't know why I think they're ladies. They don't look particularly ladylike, but then who can tell with a snake man, woman, thing. Perhaps they are ladies, but their physiology is just a bit weird. Let's see if I can get a parry off at least once. Nope. Come on. There we go. I don't practice parrying these guys very much, so my parry timing is completely off. But this one, the corridor is slightly wider, so it's easy to get a backstab on him actually. And he's guarding more Titanite shards, which obviously we want the large shards. And then, ugh, getting confused. Up here. Now, if you have pyromancy, and unlike me didn't decide to go for combustion, if you have fireball, fire orb, anything like that, this is a very good place to use it, because you can basically throw around the corner a little here. So this snake mage can't hit you, but you can target it. And if you stand roughly like I am right now, you're safe, but you can still throw pyromancy around the corner and kill it that way. Let's see if... Throwing knives don't have much knockback, I believe, so they might not work. Ouch. Basically trying to knock it off that edge. Yeah, it worked out. Okay. So apparently throwing knives also work. Well, be really careful with the camera here. It's a bit difficult because this is not a wide ledge at all. And here I would suggest you can run through all of them at once. I would strongly suggest going through the first two, and then waiting, and then going through the next two. And if you didn't manage to kill this sorcerer any other way, you can now melee it from right here. And then let me also trigger this trap. Incidentally, if you trigger it on one of the pressure plates, you can still trigger it on the other. And that actually resets the first one, so this one can be triggered indefinitely. Just something to be careful about. Yeah. Now up here, first thing you should do is turn left, walk over here, quickly move through there, take a sip of Estus if you haven't already, and drop down here. And this will get you a bonfire. This is very well hidden. A lot of people miss it, but you really don't want to miss it. And since I'm still human, I might as well kindle it. And this is the more tedious section of Sense Fortress done. Let's see how many shards I've gotten. Okay, there's a few more around here, so I will be able to plus 10 this next episode. But for now I think that's enough with Sense Fortress. Next time I'll show you how to finish this area, and yeah, also how to handle the boss really easily. So I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.